Okay, everyone, I'm back. I was supposed to do this yesterday, and I just was not emotionally stable enough to handle one of my stories for y'all. So I think we left off at us moving to Pushmataha County with my dad. Okay, that place has a lot of memories, and I will try to keep them a bit short. They're pretty crazy. I don't know. I'm not good at this. I'm not. Whew. Sharing my memories is hard. So, and I'm sorry, I always look so bummy in these videos. One of these days, y'all will see me when I'm fixed up. Most days, I'm going to look like a messy mom, okay? Um, so, in Pushmataha County, we moved in the middle of nowhere. I can't remember the name of the town. I know it started with an A. Very, very small town. Like, we didn't live near anyone except our neighbors that I'm pretty sure my dad was renting that house beside them. So, our neighbors were nice. Loved them so much. I wish I could remember names. I'm not that good at remembering things like that. I remember a lot of details, but names are things I just don't remember well. But these two people, they would watch us after school some days, and they were really, really great to us. I think they knew some of the things that went on. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could hear half the shit that went on in our house, okay? And y'all, please, I'm sorry for my language. It's gonna get rough sometimes. They would watch us after school. We watched movies at their house. We got to drink juice and tea and stuff that we didn't get to have at our house. Because some days we didn't even get to eat at our house, okay? And, they would watch us when we went to our bus stop. We had to walk down this long path because we lived in like this big, probably it used to be an old cow pasture, because I'm pretty sure I've seen cow poop, dried up cow poop at least. But yeah, we lived in this far off house. Okay, like we lived way back off the side of the road. And so we'd have to walk down this long path to get to our bus stop. And they'd watch out their door until we got on the bus. Our dad wouldn't, like, he didn't give a crap. He'll let somebody snatch us up. It might make his life easier. You know? Well, anyways, yeah, we absolutely love these people. And our dad made everything look great when we first moved there, you know? But, things progressively got bad. I liked when we had visitors, like our uncle. Although he's not really our uncle. Our dad made us call him uncle because I guess they've been friends since forever. He would come and visit, and his son would come with him. His son was pretty awesome. He at least made us, made things easier on us, I should say, because our dad didn't pay as much attention when they were around. So, one of the memories I have in this house, and it may sound stupid to everyone else, but it still gets to me sometimes, even when looking at a mirror, which is so stupid that a mirror can trigger this, because I have to look at a mirror every day, and I get lucky most days when it doesn't trigger it. But my dad told me to go look for a certain belt. And it wasn't because he was going to whoop me this time. Thank you, Jesus. He was busy in the kitchen. I can't remember exactly what he was doing, but he was like, go find it for me. And so I go and I'm looking in his room, and my stepmom, Paula's there. And she's like, what are you looking for? And I said, some belt. Daddy told me to go look for a belt. I guess she thought that we were in trouble for something. So her automatic response was, bitch, you don't see this belt over here? And I'm like, what belt? And I'm thinking she knows the belt that I'm looking for, you know, because they talk to us like that on a regular. So the whole bitch, you don't see this belt didn't faze me any at the time. Well, I go looking where she said, which was right there at their closet door that had this big mirror. And on the handle, I seen this sparkly belt. It wasn't the belt my daddy told me to look for. Some sparkly, stupid belt she had. And she takes my face and shoves it into the mirror. And she's like, bitch, the belt right there. And when she finds out that my dad wasn't about to whoop me, that's when she tries to say, well, I was just trying to help her look. I shoved her head a little too hard. Bitch, you didn't shove it a little too hard. You did it on purpose. You shoved my head into that glass, and my nose, like, instantly started bleeding. So she takes me in the bathroom, though, and she's cleaning up all the blood from, at this point, it's all down my shirt after she's talked to my dad. And so that moment there made me hate that woman so much. Like, whew, so much. And then there was another moment in that house where during the summer, while we were out of school, they would make us read books. Okay, that's a good thing. Like, most parents, I feel like, should do that. I do that with my kids, you know. I take them to the library. I make sure that they're doing something with their time. Something educational, at least, throughout some of their summer. So she tells us, go in the room, pick a book out, read it, write a pretend book report, and give it to her. Okay. So at that time, I liked Arthur. I found an Arthur book. And yes, it happened to have stickers in the front of it, but I wasn't even messing with the stickers. The stickers had already been in the book. Like, we had this book forever, okay? She comes in there, and we're reading our books, and she sees what book I'm reading, and she sees the stickers on the page, and she's like, I didn't tell you to get that book. You didn't tell us what book to get. You told us just to go get a book and write a story on it, you know? Real simple. And she stands over me, and she's screaming in my face, calling me all out my name as usual. And, you know, as a kid, that you've been through so many things with these people where they just beat the shit out of you for no reason at all, or reasons you wouldn't think were a reason to be hit, you know, you get kind of tired. And I think I was probably about 7 at the time. And as she's standing over me, yelling in my face, I'm tired, you know. And she goes to hit me, and so I kick, because I'm like, I don't want to get hit for this, you know, for a book that I picked out. So she goes to hit me, and I kick out, and she acts like she's dying, because that's another story in a minute. She acts like she's dying, and she goes and grabs one of the belts from the room, and I'm telling you, I took off. I was not about to get hit. I knew she was going to beat my ass. I knew she was, but I didn't mean to kick her. I just kicked out because I was not ready to get hit. It was just a reaction. And so she's chasing me. She literally chased me through the house, in the yard and everything. Like, yeah, and I got my ass beat by her and my daddy that day for running. Which, okay, not so bad. But that memory has stuck in my mind forever. This woman was horrible, okay? So, supposedly, I'm gonna get to why she acted like she was dying. Supposedly, Paula has all these conditions, right? She used to work in a hospital or a mental facility, something like that. And a patient attacked her for a cigarette. I don't fully believe that story, but supposedly it caused all this trauma to her body. She would cough up blood. I never once seen her cough up blood. That was the crazy part. She supposedly couldn't have kids. I don't think she ever tried. And she didn't need to. Because she was evil as fuck. And some other things on her body ached. I don't know. Like, she got workman's comp for the longest time. But was the biggest drug addict in the world. So I don't know, how they weren't finding that shit in her system. Or if they just didn't care. But, we would have to take trips to the city for her sickness. And the trips to the city were memories that my sister and I probably won't forget either. My granddad has 2 houses, and he would rent out the one beside him. So finally it got to the point that we had to travel so much back and forth to the city that he stopped renting it out. So that way it would be available for my dad when he needed to be home. That house was something. When we got in trouble, we had to do a lot of physical activities. Sometimes, like, they'd make us do squats, and if we didn't do them right, they had this big ass stick that they'd hit us with. I think it was like a loofah stick or something. Like, it was a long ass stick though. It was real thick. It almost looked like a broom handle, but I'm pretty sure like it used to have a loofah on it. So we'd do squats, and if we didn't do them right, we'd get hit. We'd have to stand on our tippy toes with our arms in the air. And if we came off our tippy toes or if our arms went down, we'd get hit. Stupid shit like that. I hated it so much. But, I mean, we did it. If we didn't do it, we got in more trouble. And, our punishments were a little extensive. Like, I don't understand. Like, my kids get put in the corner or they get, stuff taken away. I might have to pop my kid on the tail or on the hand, flick them in the mouth or something for doing or saying something wrong. But it's never like anything extensive to the point that you're finding a big ass thick stick, almost damn, broom handle to beat the shit out of your kid with. Okay, who does that? Who in their right mind does that? And of course, my dad was never in his right mind, but still, who does that to their kids? So, in this house, though, I hate that shit like that happened all the time in that house. And then this house was really broke down looking. Like, the last people that my granddad had rented it out to, I guess, had kind of messed it up. The back room was leaky. It smelled weird. And for some reason, Paula kept her cigarettes back there. They always had boxes of cigarettes because they smoked all the time. I'm pretty sure to, come down off their high, because they were always high on something. They'd keep their cigarettes back there, and they never went to go get their own stuff. We always had to go get it for them. Of course, all parents do something like that just to test and see where their kids listen, but she kept them in that room for what? Nothing else was back there but their cigarettes. Creepiest room as a kid, like, shit. You hate going back in the leaky, smelly room where there's a chair sitting in the middle of the room and that's about it. Like, a little weird. But we'd go get our cigarettes back there. I don't care who doesn't believe in spirits and ghosts and whatever. Maybe my mom was a little fucked up back then or something, but I believe in stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure some paranormal shit went on in that house while we were there, as far as my memory goes. And the people that previously had stayed in that house, they had this one room that was like painted in devil symbols. Like, seriously, like everything you could think of that could represent demonic things, it was in that room. And when we got in trouble, our dad would stick us in there. Now, there was this big face in that room, one on the wall and one in the closet, of supposedly the guy that they seen in that house. A really creepy looking spray painted picture. And when we got in trouble, our dad would lock us in that room for a few days. No food. He might throw water at us just to make sure we weren't sleeping too much. Like, I hated that room so much. So much. It's one of my worst memories. Because in that room, whether there was something in there or not, you see all that stuff painted on the walls and you're locked in there with no food and no drink for days. And you don't know when you're going to see somebody again. And the only thing you see is all the bad stuff. It messes with you, especially as a kid. And some days we got tied up. We didn't get to go in there just to go in there and sit and move around the room. No. There were some days we got tied up in there. I mean, literally like hog-tied. He would hog-tie us. He'd take our hands and he'd take our feet and he'd tie it together. And I don't know why. Like, who does that to their kids, I didn't know when I was going to get to see my sister if she was okay out there. Same thing when she was in there. I'm pretty sure she had the same thoughts as me. Like, you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. And I'm telling you, like, I hated that house so much because so many bad things went on in there. I remember one time our stepmom had an appointment and my kid's tablet alarm is going off. Even know where it's at. Anyways, our stepmom had an appointment and they didn't want to bring us for this one. We used to sit in the car and wait. Well, we ended up going to her grandma's house. But the thing was, before we went to her grandma's house, Paula took my sister's head and banged her across the counter and her eyes hit the counter. So they had to give her a pair of sunglasses to wear. Because my sister's eyes were, like, busted looking, okay? Like, she had 2 black eyes. The inside of her eyes were swollen. And of course my sister was crying, so it didn't help. And they made her wear the sunglasses, and where Grandma was supposed to watch us that day. And when we get there, she tells Jessie to take the shades off, and she wouldn't. And especially not while Paula and James were still there, because they told her if she took them off, they'd kill her. Like, they always used to tell us they'd kill us if we told people what they did to us. And of course our grandparents knew what they did to us. Our grandparents used to spoil the fuck out of us. I won't even lie. Like, they'd go and buy all this shit that we didn't even get to play with, okay? Like, we might have got to play with some of it here and there, but it always got taken away. Like, we never really kept anything. I really, really don't understand this family and why they function like they do, because I couldn't see myself doing it now, you know? So, when my dad left, of course, Grandma made her take the shades off. And all she did was give her ice packs and tell her that Daddy just did things like that because he loved us. Well, Daddy didn't do it all the time. It was Paula too. And I'm telling y'all, these aren't the most traumatic stories. Like, I think sometimes the reason why we moved so much was because people were catching up with what was going on in our towns. Like I said, our neighbors treated us really well in Pushmataha County. And I think they figured out a lot what was going on. I mean, of course, you've got to hear kids fucking screaming. You've got to notice kids not coming out of the house for certain amounts of days. You know? Like, I'm pretty sure people started catching on, and that's why we moved so much. But, oh, and because my dad didn't want our mother, wanted us to think that our mother didn't care about us and didn't want to talk to us anymore. And luckily, my sister and I would beat our dad to the mailbox some days, and we found some of the stuff that she would send, and we were keeping it, you know, as much as we could have hidden away. You know, she'd send us letters, pictures, stuff like that. But somehow, you know, our dad felt like he needed to move. Either it was the people catching up with what they were doing, or he just didn't want our mom to know where we were anymore. Because my mom did everything she could to find out where we were. And not saying that my mother was perfect either, but I feel like we would have been a lot better off with her. We at least would have ended up with her grandparents or something. Like, I would have much rather that than to be in the situations we were in with our dad. Our dad put us against each other so much. Like, my sister, for the longest time, couldn't stand me. She was like, oh, you were the favorite kid, you were the favorite kid. How? Do you not realize what we were both going through? Like, she couldn't see it all the time because Daddy was trying his best to put us against each other. He'd make her beat me up though. Like, I had to jog my sister's memory sometimes because my sister blocked out so much. She's schizophrenic. She has PTSD. I do too. She's got a lot of conditions I can't even name, okay? I don't know. But she's doing a lot better now. And we love each other so much. Like, we've gotten to the point now that we've established that so much happened to each of us. And that at some points she was my protector. And I love my sister so much for that. I hate that she went through so much because she did. She went through a whole lot. She would take hits for me. She would jump in front of me when we were getting hit. And she would take a hit quite a few times for me. And because I knew that she was that, when I was supposed to do the same things to her, like, our daddy would really make us beat each other up. He would make us do that when he didn't want to hit us, when he was too high to get up off the couch and smack the shit out of one of us. He would make us hit each other. And every time I tried not to, I used to get my ass beat so much harder by him or Paula because I didn't want to hit her. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't want to hit my sister because she took enough hits as it was. We went through so much with those two people. So much. And the fact that our grandparents knew, that's what made it worse to me at the end of the day. Like, I love them so much. But it's hard to this day. It's hard to this day to talk to my grandparents. My grandma Penny just died this year. And I took it really hard. Because I loved her. But she forgot who I was. Because she was really sick. And when I did try to see her, I went to Oklahoma, I think like 3 years ago, to visit. And they wouldn't let me see her because my grandfather couldn't keep his house clean. And so she just laid in filth all the time. And all I wanted to do was see her. Because I know that she didn't mean for everything to keep going on like it did with us, you know. She just wanted her grandkids in her life. Because she knew her memory was going soon. Like, I don't fully get mad at my grandparents, but I do have a hard time talking to my grandpa right now. I can't. It's hard for me to talk to my dad. He likes to call me. He does make the effort. He can't very much read or write, but he made the effort once to send me a Mother's Day card after we visited in Oklahoma. And, you know, I think it's nice, but it's sometimes hard to push past some of the memories that I have. So when I talk to my dad on the phone, he talks about the good things, and he talks about things how he remembers them. To this day, he thinks that this man was coming to the school because my sister and I were so smart. And it's not what he thought it was. It was really a man investigating our father. It was really someone my mom had used to try and find us. Like, my dad never knew, and he never will. Well, he might one day if he ever sees this, but I try not to ruin one of his good memories in his life. Because I still, as much as I hate things that my dad did, I still love him. Because he taught me how not to be with my own children. He made me want to be nothing more than a good mother for my kids. I definitely wanted to be the best mom that I could be. And I try really hard. And some days I get discouraged. Especially when I'm going through depression or having some of my breakdowns. You know, I go and let my kids watch a movie or something when I'm having moments like that. I just go to my room and I calm myself down. because I never want my kids to see how much I hurt. Because my daughter, my oldest daughter, she met my dad. And she loved him. I'm sorry, y'all. My oldest daughter, she met him when we visited about 3 years ago. I'm so sorry that I'm crying so much. But she met him and she loved him so much. And that's what makes me talk to him now. I don't want my kids to ever know how he was to me and my sister. Because I want them to see the good in him, and maybe he'll get his life together. Because he still does drugs. Not as much, thank God. But he still does them. And I just want him to have the chance to be a good man. Even if it takes until the last day. Because I know everything wasn't his fault. I know some of it was Paula. I know, I'm not blind to that fact. But the fact that he chose a woman's decision, I would do some of the things he's done to his kids is what bothers me. I try to consider that he just needed help and he needed a chance. So, I'm sorry, y'all. I get really emotional, and especially now that I'm pregnant. I get real emotional now. So it doesn't help. I don't like showing my emotions very often. So when I do, they just flow, But, at least you can see a lot of truth behind everything right now. But even though I went through a lot, and there's more to come, I'm telling y'all, there's so much more to come with these stories. Even though I went through so much, it made me the good person I am today. I'm not perfect at all. I'm not a perfect mom by any means. But I do make it a point to be as good as I can. And I try to make people see that I've worked hard to get to where I'm at. I could be down the worst path. I could be in a mental hospital right now, just losing my shit over all the shit I've been through still. I could have let it affect my whole life. But I grew from it. I was even told at one point that I might not be able to have kids. I think I was 15 years old. 15 years old, hearing that news. And my adopted mom, she knew it hit me hard. I didn't talk the whole way home. Because I was so afraid that I wouldn't get the opportunity to show a child what good true love was. But then I had 3. So even though I didn't end up with the father of my kids, I thank God that He allowed us to have kids together. And I've had 2 miscarriages. It hurt pretty bad. The first one the most because I knew I was pregnant. The second one not. It didn't hurt so much because I didn't know I was pregnant. But it still hurt, you know. Because I thought it was my body punishing me. So, you know, a sign that I wasn't being a great mom. That I didn't deserve to be a mother to anyone else. And then I got pregnant again. So here I am, pregnant again. I have 3 wonderful kids now. And 1 on the way. And I hope that everything works out. Right now, the father of this child that I'm pregnant with, he and I aren't together. But I'm still happy. I'm still proud that I get to carry this kid. Because at the end of the day, I'm proving to children that there is real love from parents. You don't have to be like my parents were to me. And I know that some days it gets hard. It gets hard for me. I've had to walk out of the room so I don't get too upset with my kids. I'm serious. It happens. You know, everybody yells at their kids sometimes, and I'll catch myself because I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that person, like, ever. And I have to walk away. And it's okay to walk away for a few minutes. Gain some stability within yourself, some peace within yourself, because you need it to raise up some good kids. You know, some kids need to hear a little lashing, you know. It's okay. Just don't take it to the extent that a lot of kids go through. I hope there's kids out there that can see this, that might have gone through the same thing I've been through, or something similar, and can branch out from it, you know, grow from it. Y'all need to. Don't let it hold your whole life back. I'm not in the perfect situation, but I'm doing a whole lot better than I could be. I'm not letting it hold me back. I hope my videos inspire y'all. I'm really trying to make sure that people inspire and feel better about themselves. Even going through some of the things that they've been through. You don't have to let your past hold you back completely. It's always there. You'll never let it go. No matter how much people say, just let it go. It doesn't work like that. But don't let it hold you back ever. You're better than your past. You grow from your past. You learn from your past. I'm sorry for all the tears, y'all. I'm sorry if it's hard to understand some of the stuff I said. I can't hold back tears sometimes, especially now that my hormones are crazy while being pregnant. I had to laugh at that sometimes because I don't show my emotions very much. And so, like, my kids are the only ones who really catch emotions from me. And so, it's weird when I show emotion, and I'm over emotional at this point. So, thanks to pregnancy hormones, I can be a little over emotional now. Anyways, thank y'all so much for listening, and I'll pick it back up at Smithfield, Oklahoma. I believe that's what it's called. See y'all again soon.